Vikings, fierce warriors, fearless sailors, and occasional poets who sang about axes and mead. From the late 8th to early 11th century, they changed the face of Europe forever. But today, let's forget about all the random raiders for a moment and focus on the big bosses, the rulers who turned Viking chaos into actual kingdoms. Ready? Grab your horn of mead, let's dive in. First up is Ragnar Lothbrok, active around the 840s AD. Ragnar is a half-mythical figure, but his raids changed European history. Around 845 AD, he led a massive fleet of 120 ships up the Seine River and captured Paris. The terrified Frankish king, Charles the Bald, paid him about 7,000 pounds of silver and gold to leave, one of the biggest ransoms ever paid to Vikings. But Ragnar didn't stop there. His men terrorized coastal France, raided England multiple times, and even sailed to Ireland. His legend includes wearing a magical, hairy trousers. Lothbrok means hairy breeches, which supposedly protected him from cuts. Whether true or not, these stories made Ragnar a symbol of Viking fearlessness and cunning. In 865 AD, Ragnar was reportedly captured by King Eola of Northumbria and thrown into a snake pit. But instead of begging, he laughed and sang his death song, predicting that his sons would avenge him. This wasn't just a personal drama. Ragnar's death triggered the massive Great Heathen Army invasion of England, reshaping the map forever. Several Anglo-Saxon kingdoms fell, leading to new Viking settlements. So if you think about it, Ragnar didn't just raid. He set the stage for Viking domination in England that would last for decades. Next up is Bjorn Ironside, active around 850 to 860s AD, one of Ragnar's legendary sons. Unlike most Viking leaders who stayed around northern Europe, Bjorn took Viking ambition south, way south. In 859 AD, he and Halfdan led a huge fleet of 62 ships out of the Loire River. They raided Spain, sacked Algeciras, fought Muslim armies in North Africa, and even sailed into the Mediterranean, a place most Vikings had only heard about. Their biggest trick? Attacking Luna in Italy. Bjorn faked his death, asked for a Christian burial inside the city walls, and once the gates opened, he jumped up, attacked the guards, and led his men in. These raids terrified southern Europe and showed that Vikings could adapt to new environments, outsmart defenders, and fight in completely new territories. After these campaigns, Bjorn returned home with enormous treasure. In Sweden, he established a powerful base near Lake Mälaren and may have even become king. His actions inspired future Viking routes down Russian rivers toward Byzantium, opening trade and conquest paths that connected Scandinavia with the Middle East. On the map, Bjorn's raids expanded Viking influence far beyond the North Sea, proving they could reach anywhere, from icy fjords of Norway to sunny Italy and Spain. Now meet Ivar the Boneless, active around 865 to 873 AD. Nobody knows exactly what his nickname means. Some say he had a disease that made his legs weak. Others claim he was unbelievably agile. Either way, Ivar became one of the most feared Viking leaders in England. After Ragnar's death, Ivar and his brothers launched the Great Heathen Army in 865 AD to get revenge. This wasn't just a typical raid, it was a full-scale invasion. They quickly captured York in 866 AD and used it as a base to launch campaigns deeper into Anglo-Saxon territory. Northumbria fell under their control, East Anglia was taken, and Mercia paid them tribute to survive. Under his leadership, the Vikings established the Danelaw, a massive territory in eastern and northern England where Danish law ruled. This fundamentally redrew the political map of England. Local kings lost power, Viking lords ruled new settlements, and Norse culture blended with local Anglo-Saxon life. Even after his death around 873 AD, his impact lasted for generations, influencing everything from place names to local laws and even the English language itself. Now let's sail to Norway to meet Harald Fairhair, born around 850 AD and ruled until about 932 AD. Legend says Harald fell in love with Gyda, a proud princess who told him she wouldn't marry a man who didn't rule all of Norway. Challenge accepted. Harald swore an oath not to cut or comb his hair until he unified the country. By 872 AD, after the decisive Battle of Hafrsfjord, he crushed the last regional chieftains and declared himself the first king of a unified Norway. This victory transformed Norway from a collection of warring tribes into a centralized kingdom. Many local chieftains, refusing to bow to Harald, fled west and started new Viking colonies, including settlements in the Orkney Islands, Shetland, the Hebrides, and even Iceland. On the map, Harald's rise expanded Norwegian influence across the North Atlantic and helped spark migrations that would eventually reach Greenland and even North America. Harald finally cut his hair, married Gyda, and ruled a more stable Norway. His centralized rule paved the way for future Norwegian kings and shifted Viking society from raiding-focused to kingdom-building. When he stepped down around 930 AD, he left a legacy of unity and strong royal power that changed the shape of Scandinavia forever. Last but not least, we meet Cnut the Great, born around 995 AD. Cnut started as a Danish prince, but quickly set his sights beyond Denmark. In 1016 AD, after a series of battles, he became King of England. By 1018 AD, he also ruled Denmark, and by 1028 AD, he conquered Norway. At his peak, he controlled a vast North Sea empire, one of the largest Scandinavian empires ever assembled. Cnut knew that endless raiding wasn't sustainable. Instead, he focused on building a stable Christian empire. He strengthened laws, supported the English Church, and forged alliances with powerful European leaders. Cnut's empire connected England, Denmark, and Norway into one powerful trade and cultural zone. He promoted commerce, minted coins that circulated across his lands, and kept the peace among different Viking and Anglo-Saxon factions. When he died in 1035 AD, his sons failed to hold the empire together, and it eventually fragmented. But his reign marked the high point of Viking political power, a final chapter before the Viking Age gave way to medieval Christian kingdoms. On the map, Cnut's rule unified the North Sea region and proved that Viking kings could build sophisticated, peaceful empires, not just burn down monasteries. Thanks for your view.